Welcome back to Nessa's Knife Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the Reate Gents number 9. This is another slightly upscale, expensive knife. Comes in at about $329 at most retailers. So it is expensive, but what really got me on this knife is I work in an office, so I look for sort of dressy, nice looking knives, and this is certainly one of those. But what really got me about this is this Art Deco styling. Just totally strikes a chord with me. I like sort of old-timey things, and this looks like, especially the scales, this thing looks like it's straight out of the 1930s, which is why I've got it posed on top of these Rocketeer comic books from that time period. I think what gets me the most about it is certainly the styling. Let's take a quick walk around here, and you can see how well Reate designed this thing with no exposed fasteners on this show side at all. They did something really innovative with this. This is the fastener right here that joins the rear of the two scales together. They give you a tool with this that you can fit in here. You can see it has these little dents in it, and the tool hooks into those, and you can unscrew that to get it apart, and it works just like you would expect if you go from the lock side. Just like you're unscrewing the pivot screw right here, you would unscrew this in that same direction, lefty-loosey, from this side, and it comes right apart, and I have had it apart a couple times. You can see it's a exposed frame lock, really nice deep carry pocket clip, titanium. Whole thing is titanium. Has these nice vents in it. And just the overall aesthetic of this knife is beautiful. It really fits your hand well. I wear a large, extra large glove right in that range, and it's easily 4 fingers for me. It has a great fingered choil. Beautiful blade. It's M390. Rides on bearings, and the detent is tuned so well for the flipper. You just get in there, give it a little press, bang, it comes out every time. Very difficult to fail. It's just tuned to perfection. And overall, at this price point, you would expect this, but it does deliver on this. Everything, all the edges are softened, and nothing is pointy. And they did the rounded spine on the blade, which is beautiful, if you can see that. And it carries over into the tang right here in the back, where you can see that. This landing pad is great when you work the flipper. And the choil also is rounded like that, so it's extremely comfortable to get your hand on. You got some nice jimping right here. This knife is just extremely well done. I mentioned I have had it apart a couple times. One of the first things was when it came out of the box, it was really dry, and sometimes when you would close it, it was just like impossible to get to open. And I'm like, what? There's got to be something going on with this. So I took it apart, see how it works. And instead of having a stop pin like you traditionally have in most knives, the stop pin rides in the tang, and they have grooves machined into these titanium scales, okay? So I think what you're looking at here, you can almost see it, the groove right in there. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Yeah, you can see it. That groove right in there is where the stop pin rides. So I think what you've got going on, you've got steel riding inside of the titanium scales right there, and maybe not really galling, but there's a little bit of a friction there when it was totally dry. So I got in and added a little bit of oil. I think a touch of grease would probably even be better, and it totally loosened it up, and everything worked perfectly then. Like I said, all of a sudden it came to life as far as how the detent is tuned down here. It was great. So that's one thing. If you have one that's trying to stay closed, stuck closed, and you're like, what the heck? That's what it is. And then after carrying it around for a few days and using it for a few little things in the office, I also had this screw back out. And one of the things about the knife, it's beautiful in that this is the only really exposed fastener, but since these are in, more or less quote unquote backwards, the only way to get to them is to take the knife apart to get in there and get access to the head for that steel insert on the lock bar. Not a big deal. Did the same deal. Took it apart, pulled those screws out, and actually put a little bit of blue Loctite in them. Put it back together, and all's well. Super smooth. Right back to the way it should be. Let's get a couple dimensions on it before we go, so you know what you're looking at here. We'll look at a weight on it. It's light, and again, I've been carrying this one for several days. Ever since I got it last week, actually, I've carried it every day, and it disappears in the pocket. And it's 3.5 ounces. It's so smooth, as I said, so well done, that when you drop it in your pocket, your hand slips right past it. It's just overall width of 0.51. So roughly a 1/2 inch wide. Let's take a quick look at the blade steel. 100, it's probably 160 thousandths. You can see it does have a beefy blade. It's not extremely a large knife, but it does have some pretty good blade stock thickness. Looks like you're at about 3¼ inches on the blade. Sharpened edge 3 1/8. Overall length 7 5/8, I would say. It's weird how that looks on camera. There you go, 7 5/8. So, not a big knife, but perfect for EDC carry. And honestly, since I've gotten it, it's been in my pocket a lot, and it has taken over where that one left off. So, I can tell you, if it makes you take this out of your pocket, it's a darn good knife. If you like what you saw here, please like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. Thank you very much. See ya.